A professor enters a cave alone. He stays inside for only a few seconds, but when he emerges, it is night. His car is covered in vines, and the forest looks as though it hasn't seen a human being in decades. He was inside for 2 minutes, but years had already passed outside. This is Time Trap. The film begins with an archaeology professor named Hopper. He is searching for a group of people who disappeared in the 1970s, a man, a woman, and their young daughter. They had gone in search of something called the Fountain of Youth. According to ancient legends, it was a magical waterfall hidden somewhere underground. Its water could heal any wound, cure any disease, and even bring the dead back to life. The missing family believed it was real. They went to find it and never returned. Hopper has arrived in a remote area of Texas to discover what happened to them. He tells his 2 assistants, Taylor and Jackie, to stay behind. The area is dangerous and he doesn't want them to get hurt, so he goes alone. While walking through the forest, Hopper finds an old van that looks like it has been there for decades. He searches it and finds a diary inside. Inside the diary is a photo, and upon closer look, he recognizes the faces. The missing couple are his own parents, and the little girl is his sister. Hopper had come here to search for his family. He continues exploring the area and finds a cave on a nearby hill. When he enters, he sees something strange, a man dressed like an old-fashioned cowboy, completely motionless, like a statue. Hopper calls out to him, but there is no response. The cowboy does not move at all. Hopper slowly ventures further into the cave. He ties a rope near the entrance, just in case he needs to find his way back out. A little further on, he passes through an invisible wall. It feels damp, like crossing a thin curtain of cold air. He thinks nothing of it and moves forward. Then he hears it, a deep, terrifying growl. And right after, a girl's scream echoing from somewhere deep in the cave. Hopper doesn't wait. He turns around and runs. He exits the cave and stands frozen. It is night. He was inside for about 2 minutes, but outside the sky is completely dark. The forest is thicker than before, and when he runs toward his car, it is buried under bushes and spiderwebs, as if it had been there for years. He tries to start it, but the battery has been dead for a long time. He walks toward his parents' old van and notices another car parked nearby. This one is also covered in vegetation, but Hopper recognizes the backpack inside. It belongs to Jackie, the one she always carries. Taylor and Jackie had gone looking for him, but when? He had only been in the cave for 2 minutes. Hopper shouts their names, but there is no answer. He returns to the cave. Now we go back 2 days. Taylor and Jackie have been waiting for Hopper's return. He has been gone for 2 days without a single message. Worried, they decide to go look for him. They don't have a car, so Taylor contacts a girl named Cara, who agrees to lend them her father's Jeep, but only if she and her younger sister, Veeves, can go along. A boy named Furby also joins them because he and Veeves are working on a school project. They all lied to their parents, saying they were going to a swimming spot called Hamilton Pool. They drive to the forest where Hopper went and, upon arriving, find the old van. They search it and discover the same photo Hopper found. The missing couple and their daughter. On the back it says Hopper's family. So now they know. Hopper wasn't just researching, he was looking for his parents and his sister. Near the van, they find a rope tied to a tree that leads into the bushes. They follow it to a cave. Jackie enters first, looks down, and sees a deep drop, like a long tunnel going straight into the earth. The rope hangs over the edge and disappears into the darkness. They pull the rope up. The bottom end looks frayed, as if it had snapped under weight or been cut by something. Jackie says they have to go down, that Hopper might be at the bottom. Everyone agrees except Furby. He is afraid of the dark and the bugs in the cave, so he stays outside. He gives them a GoPro camera to record the adventure. Jackie leaves him a bag with food and water and a walkie-talkie to stay in contact. The group begins to descend into the cave. Along the way, Cara passes through the same invisible, damp wall as Hopper. She notices the temperature is different on the other side. It's strange, but they keep going. At the bottom, they look around the dark cave, not knowing what to expect. Then the howl reaches them. The same deep, terrifying growl Hopper heard. It echoes off the walls from somewhere much deeper down. They panic. They grab the ropes and start climbing back up. Jackie goes first. She has only climbed a few meters when, suddenly, the rope breaks. She falls hard and fractures her leg. Taylor tries to reach her and breaks his arm in the process. Taylor looks at the rope. It's not a clean break. It looks old, as if it had been left there for years and finally gave way. Before they can make sense of it, they hear a loud thud from above. Then the walkie-talkie crackles. A muffled voice says, "Help me." Taylor asks who it is. The voice replies, "It's Furby." They move toward the sound and find a spot where the tunnel opens into a sort of chamber. Behind a large rock, Furby's body lies motionless on the ground. He is dead. They are devastated, but soon they notice something. The GoPro camera is near his body, still recording. They use a small projector to play the footage. What they see changes everything. In the video, after the group went down into the cave, Furby began waiting outside. An hour passed, then another, then a whole day, and then two. The group had only been inside for about 30 minutes, but for Furby, 2 full days had passed outside. He had run out of food and water. He tried calling them on the walkie-talkie and shouted into the cave, but nothing worked. He even found Hopper's car and searched it. There he found the diary Hopper's parents had written. Furby sat down and read the whole thing, recording it on the camera. The diary told an incredible story. Hundreds of years ago, a Spanish king became gravely ill with an incurable ailment. His queen sent her entire army to find the Fountain of Youth, whose healing water she believed could save him. The army traveled to a cave near a town called Elmo in the United States. They found the cave and were never heard from again. The diary also revealed that Hopper's sister had been very sick as a child. Her parents, desperate to save her, heard about the Fountain of Youth. They believed it was real. They came to this exact area near Elmo and disappeared forever. Furby kept reading until it got dark. Finally, after 2 full days alone, without food or water and with no news from his friends, he made a decision. He was going down into the cave. He found the other tunnel Hopper had used and started going down. He only traveled a short distance before noticing something in the sky, a thin strip of light moving up and down very fast, as if the sun were rising and setting over and over in seconds. Before he could understand what he was seeing, the rope broke and he fell. The group stops the video before seeing the rest, but they've seen enough. After Furby fell and was badly injured, he called for help over the walkie-talkie, and that's what drew them to him. A group of wild, primitive humans found him first and killed him. The group is shocked, but they set aside their fear. They need to get out. Since Taylor and Jackie are injured, Cara volunteers to climb out alone, as she has climbing experience. Taylor gives her a satellite phone to call for help as soon as she gets a signal outside. Cara climbs up, passes through the invisible wall, steps outside, and stops. The forest is gone. The entire landscape has become a dry, empty desert. A massive sandstorm is approaching in the distance. The air is thin and hard to breathe. She climbs onto a rock and tries to use the phone, but there is no signal. Then she looks up. In the sky is a massive triangular object, as huge as a spaceship, floating silently over the dead earth. Terrified, she runs back into the tunnel. When she gets back down to the group, Taylor is angry. "You were gone for less than a second," he says. Cara shows them her camera footage. It shows she was outside for a full 30 minutes. Taylor goes quiet and starts to think. He explains it slowly to the others. The invisible wall they crossed when entering is a time barrier. Inside the cave, time moves much slower than outside. That's why Furby waited 2 days while they were only inside for 30 minutes. That's why Cara spent 30 minutes outside while for them only a second passed. That's why Hopper's car aged years in the time he spent inside. The ropes weren't cut. They simply became old. Then Veeves goes back to Furby's footage and looks more closely at that strange strip of light in the sky he saw before falling. She studies how it moves. That light is the sun. It rises and sets so fast, it looks like a flickering band. But she notices something else. Its path across the sky is slowly shifting from north to south and back again. Those aren't days passing. Those are seasons, entire years. She does the math. Every 4 seconds inside the cave, a full year passes outside. They have been in the cave for an hour. Thousands of years have already passed outside. The group is still processing this when something falls from above. A long, narrow ladder descends from the top of the tunnel and a creature climbs down. It is massive, over 2 meters tall, wearing a sealed spacesuit, and moves with deliberation. When it reaches the bottom, a primitive human attacks it from the shadows. The creature pulls out a small device, places it on the attacker's neck, and the man collapses instantly, immobilized. Then, the creature turns toward the group. They run toward the deeper parts of the cave and stumble upon a horrific scene. A group of primitive humans surrounds a body. It is the cowboy, the same man Hopper saw frozen. Now he is dead. The primitives see them. Taylor makes a decision and tells the others to run, that he will stay to buy time. He faces the attackers alone, but he doesn't make it. The primitive humans kill Taylor. When they finally leave, Cara sneaks back to where Taylor fell and collapses beside him, crying. Then the creature from before reappears. It walks past Cara without looking at her, grabs Taylor's body, and drags it toward a small pool of water on one side of the cave. It submerges Taylor in the water. Taylor opens his eyes. He is alive. And not just alive. His broken arm is healed. Every wound is gone. The water had brought him back. This is the fountain of youth. It is real, and it is right here. Before they can celebrate, the primitive humans return and attack the creature. This time there are too many of them. They rip the helmet off its suit, and, without it, the creature begins to struggle to breathe. The Earth's atmosphere is slowly poisoning it. Cara and Taylor fight back with the creature's devices and manage to trap the attackers, but the damage is done. The creature is dying. Before expiring, it presses a button on its helmet. A holographic screen appears in the air, showing news reports from the future. The reports say that the Earth became uninhabitable. The air, soil, and water disappeared. Humanity built a massive triangular spaceship, called the Ark, and moved everyone who was left to Mars. The Ark is the object Cara saw in the sky. Then they understand. The creature is not an alien. It is a human, a descendant of those who left Earth for Mars thousands of years ago. After generations living on Mars, their bodies changed. They became taller, their arms grew longer, and their biology adapted. They had returned to Earth to investigate and collect samples of the healing water, but their bodies could no longer breathe Earth's air. The creature dies. Taylor goes deeper into the cave to keep searching, and there, injured on the ground, he finds Hopper. Hopper is weak. He can barely speak, but he points forward. In front of them is another invisible wall, even deeper. And beyond it, everything is completely frozen. Time inside that wall moves so slowly that nothing seems to move. Behind the wall is the waterfall, the true fountain of youth. And in front of it, a battle frozen in time. On one side, the Spanish army that disappeared centuries ago. On the other, the primitive humans who have lived in these caves for millennia. Both groups had been fighting for the water, and both got caught in the deeper time barrier. Among the frozen figures is a little girl. Hopper says, "That's my sister." She tried to flee from the primitives, crossed the deep barrier, and became frozen. Hopper arrived, found his parents already dead, and was too injured and broken to save her. Taylor tells Hopper he will take him to the healing pool, but he refuses and tells Taylor to take the others and get out of there. Taylor promises he will return. Back with the group, Jackie has already used the healing water to fix her leg. But there is no time to rest. A primitive girl has revived the dead attackers using the same water, and now they are coming again. The group grabs the creature's ladder device and runs toward the tunnel. They secure it to the wall and start climbing fast. Cara reaches the top first. The entrance is completely underwater. She reaches her hand out, and something grabs her with force. Something powerful pulls her through the water out of the cave. Below, the others continue to climb, but one of the primitives accidentally hits the ladder's control sensor. It retracts, and Taylor, Jackie, and Veeves lose their balance and fall. Then, 3 cables shoot down through the water from above, wrap around each of them, and pull them up one by one. Then more cables come down, bringing up Furby, Hopper, and his parents. When they surface, they are floating in a large pool of water. The room surrounding them is massive and advanced, like nothing they have ever seen. Nearby are tall figures with long arms, the same type of creature that died in the cave. Furby and Hopper wake up terrified, but then they look across the room. Hopper's parents are already out of the water, and beside them, standing and calm, is his sister. Then Taylor, Cara, Jackie, and Veeves enter. They are smiling. Everyone is alive. They are on the Ark, the spaceship carrying the last remains of humanity through space. The evolved humans had created a portal at the cave entrance. When they pulled Cara out, time returned to normal for her, but for her friends in the cave, Time was still moving at the cave's speed, meaning every second for them was months for her. Cara had lived with these future humans for several months, learned their technology, and when the time came, she used it to pull them all out. The healing pool on the Ark, filled with water from the Fountain of Youth, revived everyone who had died. Furby, Hopper, his parents, all alive. In the final scene, they are all together aboard the Ark as it moves through deep space. Earth, the blue planet, grows small behind them. They have nothing left there. Thousands of years have passed. Everyone they knew is gone. Everything they knew is gone. But they have each other, and, somewhere in space, a new life awaits them. And the movie ends.